So first thing is first. Here's my first tip to you, is to use Boolean operators. That sounds very fancy, but it's very, very simple. And a Boolean operator is literally using the words and, or not in your search phrase to combine search terms. A lot of us probably have complex research questions, or at least I hope you have complex research questions, because that's the best research to do. Many of us may have topics that are evaluating the effects of one thing on another, or anything like that. Okay, I'm sure none of us are just searching prohibition. Okay, what about it? Or the 1920s. Okay, what about it? All right, I'm sure we are all asking those really, really solid, complex questions as the basis for our research paper and developing strong thesis off of those questions. Okay, so basically and, or, and not allow you to combine two different parts of a topic or more, could be more than two, in your search phrase. So I have examples of how to use them right here. So imagine this was your search phrase. Imagine my topic is prohibition in the 1920s. I want to learn a little bit more about it. Okay, so I'm going to be using these Boolean operators in different ways, and you are going to be using these Boolean operators in different ways. What we're going to do is we are going to see how using the words and, or, and not affect the results that we get back in the database. All right, essentially, these are all commands telling the database to either combine or keep separate these different topics. Okay, and I want you to input each of these searches and to notice how they affect your search results. All right, so we are together going to do the first example. So go into EBSCOhost. You're just going to click the link on the EBSCOhost homepage, and this goes for every single time that you're using EBSCO. Oops. There we go. You're going to select EBSCOhost Web. You're going to select all. So basically what EBSCOhost is, it's actually a collection of multiple databases. My tip to you is just always select all, because you're able to filter the results that you get back, as you're going to see when we input our first search. So we're going to select all and continue. And this is, of course, where we're going to enter our search phrase. So I'm just going to, for the sake of ease, copy and paste my phrase and search. Okay, so using and, you get 436 results. I want you to see what is represented here. Just browse through, see what sort of subjects you're finding represented, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to change this to or. Again, analyze. I'm just showing you very, very quickly. I want you to take the time to do each of these on your own in just a second. Then you're going to analyze how or affects your results, and then you're going to analyze how not affects your results. All right, so think about which one of those Boolean operators gave you the most results. Maybe which would be the best if I was searching or if I was researching the topic of the 1920s and how prohibition affected the 1920s. All right, so take a few minutes, maybe work with a partner for this one, and just figure out and compare how and, or, and not affect a search phrase. So hopefully some things that you took note of were using and, you actually got some of the, in terms of amount of results, you got the least amount of results using and, because you are telling the database, I want sources that specifically talk about the 1920s and prohibition together. Okay, whereas for 1920s or prohibition, you're telling the database to give me results that are talking about the 1920s or prohibition. So you're literally getting anything that the database has that is talking about the 1920s, in addition to anything that they have talking about prohibition. So you're getting a lot of results with that one. And then in terms of the 1920s, not prohibition, you're getting every single resource that this database has that discusses the 1920s, but is separate from prohibition. Okay, so think about for your own topic, how are you going to be incorporating Boolean operators into your search phrase?